Hello trainers, my name is Tablemon and today we're going to be playing with a Suicune Inteleon deck right here at the PoTown store YouTube channel. Let's check out the deck. Alright, so here we have our beautiful Suicune deck that we will be playing with today. Now this is not the usual Suicune deck, this is focused heavily on disruption. We're not pairing Suicune with Ludicolo this time, which is usually the most common partner, but we're going to be playing with Phantom Waves, Crushing Hammers, and some Path to the Peaks to try and delay our opponent's strategies. Now, Suicune V is a pretty good Pokemon card. It is one of the few Pokemon V that can compete with Pokemon VMAXs. Its ability Fleet-Footed allows you to draw an extra card during your turn if this Pokemon is in the active spot. Now, not the biggest advantage to draw an extra card, but you never know, right? One extra card could sometimes be the difference between winning or losing. Now, if Path to the Peak is in play, we won't be able to use our ability, but we only lose out on one card per turn, so it's not that big a deal. And finally, the Attack Blizzard Rondo is the main attraction here, which does 20 damage more for each benched Pokemon plus the base 20 damage. So in total, you could be doing up to 220 damage as long as your opponent has 5 bench Pokemon and you have 5 bench Pokemon. And that is my maximum damage output that we have with Suicune. So we're going to be two-shotting for the most part, and there might be some situations where our beautiful Inteleon's quick shooting ability, which allows us to once during our turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. With good and well placed and well planned damage counter placement, we might be able to score a 1-hit KO or make up for the fact that our opponent might try to keep their benches low in order to stop us from doing extra damage. Now we have the Shady Dealings ability on the Drizzle, which allows you to, when you play this Pokemon from your hand, to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn. You may search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then you shuffle your deck. So having access to any either draw powers such as Melanie, such as Marnie, Raihan, or Professor's Research, or any disruption such as the Crushing Hammer, the Path to the Peak, and Phantom Waves, or even search cards like the Capacious Bucket to find energy, the Instance or Level Ball to find other evolutions and other Pokemons, along with Air Balloon, Cape of Toughness, and Scoop of Net. Literally go and find anything we need when we need it, and that is the beauty of the Shady Dealings Drizzle and the Shady Dealings Inteleon as well. This ability allows you to search for 2 trainer cards, revealing them and putting them into your hand, so you can potentially plan towards this ability and make sure that you do not whiff what you need when you need it. Now, the deck does work thanks to Melanie. This fantastic supporter allows you to attach a water energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V, and if you do, you draw 3 cards. So energy acceleration plus draw power is always a recipe for success, as we have seen in the past with cards such as Welder. Now, Raihan is similar to Melanie, where it attaches a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, and if you do, you search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. So instead of drawing 3, we can search for anything we might need, which is very important. But the condition to play this card is we can only play this card if any of our Pokemon were knocked out during our opponent's last turn. So we do have to keep that in mind. Melanie is a less powerful card because it doesn't search for what we need specifically, but it doesn't have a conditional, whereas Raihan is slightly more powerful overall, but you do need to have a Pokemon knocked out before you can fully play with it. We have Marnie to disrupt our opponent's hand by making them put it at the bottom of the deck. We also do the same. We draw 5, they draw 4. We have Path to the Peak to stop any abilities from Pokemon that have a rule box. These are Pokemon such as Suicune V, which has the V rule, or any Pokemon VMAX that has the VMAX rule, and we can utilize, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Phantom Waves to put a special energy card attached to one of opponent's Pokemon to the bottom of their deck. Special energies are everywhere right now, so it's a very good disruption card. And we have our good and trusty Crushing Hammers, where we flip a coin, and if it says discard an energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon. On average, we should be able to remove 2 energies per game, so that should hopefully delay an opponent's strategy enough to where we can take over the game. Let's jump into some games, shall we, so that we can see the deck in action. Alright, we are here in our first game, and we have a Very peculiar hand, I would say. We are going second, which could be a problem. And having 3 drizzles in your hand is not very common, but we shall see what we can do with this hand. I might have to research a way, especially if my opponent threatens a KO on Suicune afterwards. Seeing this remedy could mean 3 different decks: Rapid Strike Urshifu, Rapid Strike Inteleon, or Rapid Strike Malamar. However, the Urshifu obviously confirms that it is Rapid Strike Urshifu. So hopefully off of my top deck and or fleet-footed, I can find a quick ball. That would actually be pretty fantastic, because then I would be able to Melanie on turn 1. So with that in mind, I am going to play the bucket just to get 1 energy, right? Thin the deck a little bit, and then fleet-footed, please a quick ball, that would be fantastic. But no, not quite. In fact, we are going to discard yet another resource. Okay, well, it's what I have to do, unfortunately. And all right, so let's do this. My opponent clearly has Melanie in their hand. So because of the retreat, well, I guess that we're also protecting from a KO, but by not playing anything else, I make their Gmax Rapid Flow not as good, right? Which is potentially good news. They might even choose to simply attack with 100 Furious Blows instead of evolving, which is indeed what happens. And alright, so let's go ahead and pinch you. Now we'll go ahead and establish another Suicune here. Very sad situation, discarding those 3 those 3 drizzles for sure. Very sad situation, but it is what it is. Go ahead and bench you, and we'll go ahead and utilize Blizzard Drone. I believe I played the Path to a Peak preemptively before using my ability, so that is a slight mistake. But with the start that we had, it's just very unlikely that we end up winning this match. So we are going to see the Urshifu. This doesn't really matter at any given point. And we're going to see an incense for the Octillery. The Octillery will probably establish another Urshifu, I would imagine. We have no way to 1 KO the active, so that's really bad. Really, really bad. Yeah, we're definitely not going to win this match, I don't think. Not much I could do about it though. We even see an attachment. And yep, Sobble does indeed go down. Alright. So with this in mind, interesting that they attach to the bench. But yeah, we are in a lot of trouble. I'll go ahead and send the energy back to the deck. I'll go ahead and I guess I'll grab the last drizzle. Because why not, right? And then I guess I'll go right hand for Suicune. That seems reasonable. And we'll do a little bit of damage, not too much. What can you do, right? What can you do? Awful start, we went second. My opponent had the perfect hand, having only played 1 supporter at all. So, tough situation. Yeah, tough situation to be in. My opponent discards their own energies and they have energy recovery, which means the energy disruption doesn't really hurt them, on top of them being able to directly search for the Rapid Strike energies whenever they want with Octillery. So that is the main reason why we are very likely to lose this match. Interesting that they didn't just Melanie once again. Very peculiar decision. I figured Melanie with the Rapid Strike energy would have been the play of choice. They only used that ability for a stadium, so yeah, they were simply holding another energy, right? So in their first hand, essentially, they just had access to 3 Rapid Strike energies raw, without playing a draw supporter, without needing anything really. So that's really rough. Yeah, that's really rough. When your opponent draws so perfectly, it's hard to do anything really. Okay, I don't want to bench anything else because then my opponent just goes Gmax Rapid Flow and the game is over. So for now, I'll just Blizzard Rondo. I don't think I have a chance to win this game, but I should at least try, right? Very weird decisions from my opponent as well. And they just have the Inteleon, so yeah, like my opponent just... Of a 1 supporter, they've just had every single Pokemon or anything they needed. There's the Echoing Horn, there's the Melanie, so that will be the knockout. Literally nothing I could do right here. Literally nothing I could do. Sure, well played. And on to the next match. Alright, on to the next game. Hopefully we can draw a little bit better. We're gonna start off with a mulligan, which is never a good thing. Especially against what's looking to be a very likely Mew deck. So Path to a Peak will hopefully have to put in the work here. I actually somehow mulliganed 4 times. So these things are just unbelievable, but oh well. And yes, we are up against a Genesect Mew deck. Alright, so let's go ahead and search for a Sobble. And let's go ahead and Quick Ball away the boss for a Suicune. And I'm honestly just gonna go ahead and attach and retreat. Hopefully my opponent doesn't get a crazy start with the Meloetta and knocks out my Suicune. Not impossible. Hopefully unlikely, but not impossible. And we'll see. With 4 mulligans and how turbo that deck is, I fear the worst, actually. I don't fancy my chances. Yeah, double raw battle VIP pass with my 4 mulligans. That makes sense. They chose to bench 2 Genesects more instead of a second Mew VMAX, which indicates that they are going to try and go for the Meloetta knockout. Even discard a Mew VMAX right here. And they have access to 4 potential abilities, which is crazy to think about. The Alyssa Sparkle does send 2 energies out of the deck, so hopefully they whiff the 3rd one. And if they don't, well, it is what it is. And such is my luck. There's the switch. So now they need 1 energy. 1 Fusion Strike energy does the trick. That Genesect for 1 is actually very good news in terms of what they currently have access to. I imagine the Fog Crystal was a card that they drew, so there's the 3rd Genesect ability. Chances of them finding the Fusion Strike energy are fairly low, so hopefully we can punish this potential play. Alright, there's the attachment, so now they're committed to doing only 140 damage, which is not bad, right, when you're going first, but should be good here. So Energy Denial, right? Energy Denial is the current name of the game for me. My opponent actually chooses to give up a prize card rather than try to take a knockout. Alright, so I do get the Path to a Peak, which is fantastic. We also have double Drizzle axis. So let me think about this. I definitely am attaching here, right? I'm gonna go fleet-footed before I play the instances for the Drizzles. Okay, another Path to a Peak. And then this first Drizzle, I definitely want a knockout, right? That is the goal. So 190, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. I need 2 more benched Pokemon. I do need 2 more benched Pokemon right here. So could be a livable. And let's go ahead and grab another Sobble. And we will quick pull away 1 Incense for the Suicune. And then I gotta keep this Incense for potential draw. We'll go ahead and I want to say delaying the Mew is better, because if my opponent ends up attacking me with Meloetta, that's actually not bad at all, because then I should be able to take 2 prizes, take 1 prize card, and then probably finish off a Mew VMAX for the game. The issue with Fan of Waves is that the card doesn't go to the discard pile, it goes back into the deck, making the LSS Sparkle play, I mean, just as good, I guess. It's not that big of a difference, but at least we were able to avoid the 1 KO by my opponent, a high roll 1 KO from my opponent, and they also lost a Genesect, and there's a path to a peak right here. So they are taking a long time to make their decision, which could be an indicator that they went AFK, because otherwise why wouldn't you promote the Mew which has retreat? But actually, finally they do, and there we go. So the big question now is the stadium, right? Can my opponent counter the stadium in order to draw extra cards with Genesect right here? Or can they not? So far, no stadium. We do see a boss onto the Sobble, which is fine. They are going to try and take a knockout that way, and which they can, right? But that's okay by me. So they did attack with Meloetta. Clearly they're digging for a prize card, which is always good. And what I can do now is power up my other Suicune, I reckon, with another Melanie. I don't want to get rid of the path to a peak, as we just saw how clutch that was this past turn to slow down my opponent's deck. So let's go ahead and grab the Melanie. And I thought I had an energy in the discard pile. Okay. Could have sworn I had an energy in the discard pile. It's fine. Not the biggest of deals. Grab you, and we'll just go ahead and take the knockout. Might be a little costly. Possibly, I could have searched for a Crushing Hammer to potentially delay the Mew VMAX a bit further, but I feel like for now we're in an okay spot. Definitely a slight mistake though there, right there. I mean, I'll have the Melanie for next turn ready to go, which is fine. The fact that the stadium hasn't been countered immediately, I think indicates that my opponent doesn't have a stadium counter. That had to be the top deck, and it is a Tails. But they had the Rotom phone, so one was their top deck, the other was their prize card. That's for sure. And they just gave up Genesect, and they have a bench Meloetta. So now all I need to do is find boss eventually. I was going to go ahead and research now, because all I needed was boss's orders, and there's the win. So let's jump into another game. Alright, for this final game, we are going to go second, and we're gonna give out mulligans, so it might be a problematic situation depending on how many mulligans we give out and how good our hand ends up being. By going second, we do have a slight chance at getting a turn 1 attack off. It's not likely. You do need a lot of cards like Quick Ball, Melanie, and Water Energy raw in your hand along with a Suicune start. So it's not very common, but it is possible, right? It is possible, and we're just missing the Melanie, right? We are actually only missing the Melanie right here, so I might go out of my way to thin as much as I can to give myself a chance of drawing the Melanie off of the fleet-footed. We are up against Mew VMAX, which will be a little scary, but once again, the path to the peak could be the key card in order to beat my opponent. So we'll see. We see the Mew. most Mew decks that you face off in the ladder now are usually the heavy item, pure Lessa and Boss's Orders version of the deck, which is like hyper turbo, plays Great Balls, so definitely expect that most of the time. Failed the first Great Ball, which is great. Second Great Ball does hit, however. And yeah, just take a look at this. Fantastic from my opponent. You only wish you had Battle VIP pass instead of those Quick Balls, I guess, because then you could draw the Quick Balls later to thin your hand for more Genesect draw. This is your first Genesect, and we do see a pause afterwards, which is fantastic. Alright, so I'm gonna try, right? I am absolutely going to try to hit one of my 2 Melanie, since I did prize the other one. That immediately puts a small dent into our plan. Let's grab the other Suicune in case the active does go down. And then we'll search for a Sobble. Then we will establish a Drizzle, and I did notice that I prized 1 Suicune and 1 Sobble. So we can barely fill up our bench, and lucky less than 1 in 20 chance of Melanie here. But it's more than 0%, right? That is true. Alright, so we'll go Fan of Waves. We will go Path to a Peak. We will go Cape of Toughness to hopefully prevent a knockout as well. And here we go. Does my opponent have a counter Stadium? If they do, then they can get crazy. If they don't, then they could be in trouble. But they actually do, in fact, have that. So now, do they have the Alessas? Immediately they show it. So there's a high chance my Suicune will be going down right here. They do need another energy, any energy, and a Mew VMAX, and 2 power tablets. Not an impossible feat, but also not the most likely thing, I would say. Well, like, this might actually be rough now. Okay, now they've used a switch and an escape rope. So assuming the standard list, they might only have 1 or 2 of these left. So a boss onto a Genesect could be a potential win condition for us. They just get the dull power talent. Immediately okay. Well. Yeah. Alright, well, to say we're in trouble would be an understatement. Like, we're not out of it, but we're in a pretty bad spot. This Mew cannot attack, however, this upcoming turn. They're down 1 Stadium, 1 Switch, and 1 Escape Rope. Alright, so let me think this through. I definitely attach, I definitely play this. Then I guess I'll do this. Okay, nice. Then I'll go ahead and bench a Sobble. Then I will go ahead and fleet-footed, see if I can get the Melanie perhaps. Nope. But I do get a level ball for a potential follow-up Drizzle, which is always great. So let's grab ourselves the Melanie. Make sure that we can get an attack of this turn. And okay, I do get the Crushing Hammer. Tails, alright, as expected. Let's go ahead and bench on our Sobble just to do a little bit more damage, and then we will go ahead and play down the Path to a Peak, and we'll Blizzard Rondo. So as I mentioned, this Mew cannot attack this upcoming turn. A Fusion Strike energy would give my opponent a knockout, and that's exactly what's gonna happen yet again, plus the counter Stadium. So yeah, chooses to play the switch though. So I think my win condition now becomes boss on the Genesect. I think that's what I need to play towards now. I don't think I have any other chance. So that's what I'm gonna play towards now. Even if they have 1 more switch, they probably don't have 2 more. So I'm gonna grab the Incense. Yeah, I have exactly 2 Boss's Orders, so I'm gonna grab the Incense, use Shady Dealings for double Boss's Orders, And then just boss the Genesect. That's gonna be the plan. And hope for the best. That is literally my plan to win the game. It's an alternate win condition, right? But it is a punish on my opponent's huge resource use. And that switch specifically, right? They could have just knocked me out with Meloetta, but for some reason they chose not to. So we're gonna see a Cramomatic Tail Slip. If they're only playing 6 energy total, 4 Fusion Strike and 2 Psychic, then that is how we can potentially win this. They just have the other Psychic in their hand, okay? So we're just gonna try again with the other boss. And if they have another switch, that's it. If not, then we might actually be able to win this. Because they should be out of energies after they choose to retreat. They could be playing Air Balloon. I don't know their list, right? If I knew their list, I could know exactly what I'm playing towards. But we'll see. Because the other option was knocking out the Mew, right? But then if they just did Alessa, which they did, and attached an energy, which they also did, and found the Mew VMAX, then it was game over anyway, so no reason to do that. So they do play the Cramomatic, they do flip heads, so I guess we'll know next turn, right? They saw me go for the boss, so if they went for the Tool Jammer, I mean, I don't know, right? But I'm just gonna go boss again and hope for the best. It's my only plan. If I had gone for the knockout, sure I would have taken 2 prizes, but I would not have been able to win at all. So let's promote the Drizzle. Let's go ahead and boss yet again. And you know what? I guess I top deck this, so I guess I can quick shooting. I'm not gonna win by damaging stuff, right? But I could maybe fake it. And we'll see. Yeah, does my opponent have an Air Balloon or another switch? If they do, they win. If not, unless they're playing 2 energies for some reason, then we should be good to go. That's 1 energy back, but not 2, right? There's only 1 Psychic in the discard pile. I assume they don't have the second switch. Well, there's a Fog Crystal for the 3rd Psychic. No, no 3rd Psychic. No 3rd Psychic. And we see a pass. Alright, have we done this? Have we actually done this? I can Melanie to find I think Path to the Peak, right? Path to the Peak seems potentially important, and there it is. So let's get a water back, and then we can play the Path to the Peak. We can attach this, fill it, we can do this, and we can pass. Have we done it? They don't have any more Fusion Strike energy. They didn't search for an energy, so you have to assume that they don't have anything else, any other way to retreat, right? They flipped heads on Cramomatic, and they didn't grab a switching card, seeing my 2 bosses orders, so I fully believe that I have this game won, perhaps. The alternate win condition, yeah. The alternate win condition. I think we might have done it. Yep. Either that or my opponent's playing with my feelings and they do have another switch and they're just waiting to draw it, right? That is another option. But that broken card, wheel, that was close. You have a good deck. Have we done it? We did! Awesome! So I guess that shows a way that you can beat Mew as well. You're getting Ruffle stumped, but this is something that I think highlights something that I mention a lot in other videos that I make on my channel, is that people think that the goal with the deck is to draw as many cards each turn with Genesect, and they are very wasteful with their resources and they end up wasting a switch, as we saw my opponent do when they didn't need to. If they had conserved that switch, that would have completely taken away my win condition. So I don't know if my opponent's last surprise card was a third switch or a third psychic energy, but based on prior knowledge that I had about the current Mew VMAX builds and deck lists, I was able to make that game-winning play, which is not something that you would expect, but it ends up working out very nicely. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and like the videos here at our PoTown Store YouTube channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.